Today I have some finishes, some whips, a little bit of shop news, and some gardening stuff to share with you today. So let's get started. Hi, if you're here for the first time, this is a knitting podcast and it's called APLCrafts, and I am your host Alicia, and I've had a wild morning so I'm a little bit flustered, but I will do my best. So just to do shop news real quick, it's the same thing that if you've been here for a while you've already heard this, but I have some yarn sets in the shop that are marked down. I just lowered the price on everything, so it comes out to about $20 a skein, plus or minus $1 or $2. And if you purchase anything $75 more, you get free shipping in the US, and I think it's like severely discounted if it's international. So just something to keep out for. Also, if you see yarn colors in the shop and they're not in a set, just message me. I can break up sets, I can do whatever. I'm a very small business, and so I have the power and the luxury to be able to just break up sets and do whatever to make you happy. So just something to keep in mind. So finishes. I finished my Campside Cardi by Alicia Plummer, and I'm already hot. I've got the window open, so I'm just gonna hold it up. I think I put a video. I think I made a video, so if I did, I will put it up over here. But this is the Campside. I made it with merino nylon donegal tweed or something like that, and so that's what all those little bits are. And I did modify this. I made the size 47. I think it was supposed to have 3 to 4 inches of ease. I tried to play around with the ease a little bit just to make it a little bit bigger, especially in the arm, because I know that, like, you know, I want to wear sweaters underneath it or t-shirts like I did today, you know, stuff like that. So I have been wearing this a little bit. It's not pilled or anything yet. But modifications that I did with this was I took out all of the eyelets. I didn't want the eyelets. I just wanted the bones of the pattern, if you will. So I did that. And then what I also did was I made pockets. So I've got one on each side. I put a button in there. It's not the best button in the world, but it's a button and it's a functional pocket, so you know. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to tack this down. I need to wear it a little bit more to see if I want to tack this down yet or not. Knitted pockets, in my opinion, don't hold a lot of weight anyway. So it's really more like if I'm putting my whole fist in the pocket and I'm pushing down or something like that, you know, it's like, how is that going to affect the cardigan, you know? I knit most of this on a US 6, and it has I think this is a shawl collar. That's what you call it, when you pick up all the way around. And you could put buttons here if you wanted to. The pattern does not have, at least I don't think it had buttonholes. No, it didn't. You could put buttons in here if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, what I had to do with this, with the shawl collar, I knit it the first time and I knew it was going to be tight. So I did a stretchy bind off, but like I did like a half-ass stretchy bind off, so not every single stitch was a stretchy. It was like some of them were normal and some of them were stretchy. I do that a lot with a lot of my stuff, especially with socks and stuff. I'll just kind of half-ass it. But I think because of the way the ribbing down here meets with the ribbing for the shawl collar, it really puckered it up. I mean, you can kind of actually see it here. It's like, you see how it's writing up? It was like way worse, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to unpick this. So I unpicked it, like the whole bind off, and then did, I think the whole thing might have been stretchy. I might have been done like maybe 3 stretchy stitches, 1 non-stretchy stitch, and then I was like, okay, let me block it and see if it comes out okay, and it did. So I'm happy with it. And so now, yeah, like I said, I've been wearing it, not a lot, but I have worn it a few times. So now this is going in my pile of clothes to wear for the season, because I already put away all my winter sweaters, and now I've got my summer tank tops out, which is still too cold for, but I've got that out, and I've got this cardigan, and I have my All the Lights cardigan that I also wear a lot. And then I just kind of pair it with like a shirt like this, or whatever, you know, until it gets warm, which is probably going to be in about 3 weeks. So, yay, Tennessee. What else can I say about that? I mean, a lot of people have knit it, so there's not really anything I need to talk about with that. So, yeah. The next thing that I worked on, or finished, are my Hexi Diamond Socks by Nancy Wheeler. I got that off of 52 Weeks of Socks. That's where I got the pattern. It is an individual pattern, so if you like it, you can get it on its own. It's been out for a while. So first of all, let's talk about the yarn. So the yarn is Golden Pearls. Flirting's part of my heritage, and it's part of like a project that I ripped out, and I was just trying to figure out something to do with the yarn. The reason why they're shorties is I wasn't intentionally going in with them to be shorties. The pattern isn't hard, it's just tedious as hell. You see that? So basically what you're doing is you've got, if you've ever knit 1x1 cables, right? It's like you can either use the cable needle, which when you've got this kind of grid, that's more patience than what I got. Or you can just kind of, I may have done I don't think I have a video on it now. I did it a long time ago. They're 1x1, so you're crossing over, either going left or going right. So it's just a matter of how you're picking up the needle to get the back stitch one way, or to get the front stitch going the other way, whatever. Okay, so it's not a hard pattern, it's just tedious, like so tedious. It's a cute pattern. I love this pattern. I don't know if I'd do it again because of the tediousness, but that's why I decided to go with like short shorties. I don't think I've ever made a shorty this short. Like literally I did the heel, did like a row or two, and then did like a half of a repeat before I went to the cuff, because I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And so I tried it on just to make sure that it fit, you know, because like I said, I've never knit anything this short before, and they fit. So pronto, done. Let me put it on the sock blocker so you can see what it looks like. There you go. So there we go. And I did a reinforcement underneath the ball of the foot, because that's where I wear out a lot. It's just a slip one, knit one. And then I have a reinforcement on the short row heel, same thing, slip one, knit one. I think I don't remember if I modified the stitch pattern. I don't think so. No, I didn't. So I did the second size and US 2. Yeah. So that's it for that. I almost had a third finish today, and I was going to film tomorrow, but I was like, you know, let me just get it done today. Because I have a lot going on this weekend. So the thing that I was going to finish, and I didn't, is this Mobius shawl. Now, I'll put up a picture. Okay, so I got to start the story off by saying I've been crocheting since I was 14, right? And like, this is so simple that it's one of those things that, like, it's a Mobius, right? We make those things by mistake, right? Especially when you're starting to learn how to do anything, you're making those by mistake. When I tell you that I could not intentionally do a Mobius to save my life. I ended up with a double Mobius. Is that even a thing? So it's got a double twist. Like, I don't even... But you know what? I tried it on, and it looks cute, and it works. So I'm like, whatever. gotta do something with these joints here. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, so I was almost done. Like, you know, I have one more ball left. This yarn is Jamieson's of Shetland Marl Chunky Knitting, and it's 120 meters. Colors Rainforest. So just trying to find things to get out of my stash. So I was like, you know what, I could actually wear this with stuff, right? Especially for that transitional weather. So but yeah, I ended up with a double Mobius or a double twist. I'm just like, how is something so simple just go right? I tried like 4 or 5 times. I don't understand how it wasn't clicking. Something that you do by mistake when you're a beginner. Like, it's just whatever. I went with it. Like I said, it's a double twist. So how many did I chain? It's a free pattern. It's from Naztazia, if you're familiar with her. She's got a YouTube channel with a lot of tutorials and stuff. And actually, she had a video on how to do this, and I still couldn't get it. I think I was just like not in the right brain space or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah. So it's that pattern. And each ball of these, I was getting about 6.5 rounds, 6 to 7 rounds, something like that. So I'm going to finish this up today, so it'll be done. And I'll probably end up with 12, 13 inches of thickness. I don't know what I would wear this with. It would just be something with a dress, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I have to fiddle around with it. And it's like really hot in here right now. But this just kind of gives you an idea. Yeah. So it's that other twist is supposed to be in the middle of the back. And I'm not getting it for some reason. But this is what it looks like in the front. So it'll be a little bit deeper. Oh my gosh. Anyway, whatever. You get the idea, I hope. Anyway, so that's what it's going to look like. Just something to use up some yarn. It's a little bit, like, it's not loose. And I feel like when I get the other ball in, it should be okay. If I have to make it smaller, then I will. Because really, literally, like, if I, like, was really wanting to work on it, I could finish this in 2 days, you know, maybe 3 days. So it's not a lot of work behind it. It's just double crochets all the way around. Oh yes, what I was getting at was that in the pattern it was 62 to chain, but that's for her size. And again, it's a free pattern, so all you have to do to modify it is just keep adding chains, because all you're doing is adding chains until you get to where you think it's going to fit around you, and then you chain 3 and just start doing not triple crochet, double crochet all the way around. So yeah, I mean, that's all you really have to do. Now I will say that if you did want to make it, regardless of whether you did the double twist or not, just keep in mind that when you're crocheting in the round, your crochet is going to kind of expand. So like, for instance, if you've got, say this is 10 chains, right? And then you fill all those, you know, all those chains with double crochets, it's going to come out to about here, right? So if you're going to end up chaining like 90 to go around your body, I think that's what I did was 90, and it stops like right here, stick with that. Because if you go to here, it ends up being 100, right? Now you're going to be too big because it kind of like stretches that chain out, that foundation chain. It's just something to keep in mind. I am crocheting this with a K hook, 6.5 millimeter. So I think that's, what else do I have? I have 2 other webs. So I got a pair of socks that I'm just in love with right now. I'm trying to use up all my scraps, right? Like really trying to be working through all my scraps. And I've got the Marled Mania pants that I haven't worked on in a couple of months. I do actually have enough yarn now to add another inch or two, so I'm probably going to work on that this month sometime. But I was going through my scraps trying to find a scrappy project for socks, and I had enough yarn to do 2 different pairs, so I went with this set first. And this is all figuring weight. Half of this is my yarn, so isn't it just the, I love this. This is the best. And it's like, I am not a process knitter, but I'm enjoying the process of knitting these socks because it's like I'm just doing 10 rows before I get to the next color, and it's exciting to me to like get to the next color. So this bottom color is mine. That's Black Cat. This green color is mine, and that's Emerald. This white shimmery color is my Birthstone's Diamond, which it looks like it's just an undyed Selena, but it has like the lightest flush of gray in there, so you take that how you will. This is Earth Yarns right here. This is mine. This is the Emerald Coast. It's a speckled green and blue, and I think there's some teal in there too. This is Borrego, and then here and here, that's my Pride colorway in speckles. And then I'm just kind of reversing the order. So I did the heel in the Black Hat, and then I'm just reversing the order. So I've got the, what am I on? I'm in the middle of the white right now, the diamond, and then I've got the green, and then I just do the cuff with the black. So US2, how many stitches I put in here? I think this is 60 stitches. I don't do 64 stitches for a sock unless it's a pattern, and I can't really modify that at all. And I definitely don't reduce the number of stitches if it's color work. So this is probably 60. I did not do my reinforcement on the ball of the foot for this one, but I did do it for the heel, that slip stitch heel for the short row heel. And I should be done with this in the next few days. It's not much left to do. It's just like, what, 3 inches of knitting. So yeah. Casualty. So I'm working on that. I forgot to mention that if you are interested, there is a sock along, or sock make along for the whole year. It's not mine. It's by Courtney from Knit Now, Swatch Later, and it's for 12 socks for the year. And there's a Ravelry group for her podcast, and there's a thread for the socks and stuff. And there's also Instagram with the hashtag that I'll put down here. I think it's 12 socks 2025. So yeah, go ahead and join that. I'm going to be joining that. I actually have a bunch of other socks that I didn't talk about that will be entered into that as well. And I have a bundle. Is it a bundle? I guess it's kind of like a bundle on my Ravelry that I'm going to be putting all those socks in. So if you're obsessed with knitting socks and you want to join a make along, go ahead and check that one out. Okay. And I decided to pick up a shawl project. It's another scrappy one, so I will put a picture up of the yarns because they're kind of over there. I'll put a picture up of the yarns that I'm using for this. This is a pattern that's been out for a while, 3 or 4 years or something. It only has like 29 projects, but it's I don't know if it was meant for advent knitting or not, but it's definitely one of those where you can use scrap yarn if you wanted to, and it's kind of like a sampler, so like every single block is something different. That's the back. So I'm going with the fall theme. So like this block here is all garter. This one is it's like a ribbing, but like you're knitting through the back loop, and then this one's like a basket weave. When I'm done with this section, I'm going to block it before I do the rest of it, because you have to pick up on the side, and then you do some more knitting, and then you pick up on the other side and all that stuff. So it's modular, which, you know, I like modular. So so these colors, This one here is a very muted forest floor. That's mine. I don't have this particular shade in the shop. I do have forest floor in the shop, and it's definitely richer. This one's more muted. This is spiced apple pie. That's mine also. And then this one, I don't have the tag. This is not mine. But it's just a sparkly brown. I think it was turtle candy, I think was the name, but I don't remember the yarn, like the brand or anything. I'm knitting this on a US 5. Usually my fingering weight shawls, I do US 5s because I like the fabric on that. And my gauge is usually like 23 stitches for 4 inches, something like that. I also do that with garments. If I'm making a pullover in fingering weight, I'll also use a US 5 because I like the fabric that it does. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with this, and I'm just kind of taking my time. You know, I have castanitis right now. There's also other projects that I'm working on that I'm not talking about right now. They're not secret projects. They're just, we'll be here all day, you know, so I'm just kind of like pulling the things that are more significant, you know, if that makes sense. So, yeah, this is what it looks like in the cake. So, that's it for that. The designer is escaping me. I'll put it on the screen, and everything is linked down below. So there's that, and I believe it's a free pattern. I'm almost positive it's a free pattern. So that's all I have for knitting. This past weekend I went to JOANNE's. Rest in peace, JOANNE's. And I wanted to get another box for my socks, so I got this one. There were some other ones that were more my style, but like it was gonna bother me. Like the ends weren't meeting up. They're kind of, I wouldn't say dented, but they're curved in, and I was just like, no, that's just gonna bother me. So I stuck with this one, and so it's has a magnetic closure. Usually this size box is like $25, $30, something like that, and it was marked down 20%. Here's my thing. Okay, we know that they're closing, right? We know that they're bankrupt, but they're pimping out their stores like, you know, everything is just marked to sell, y'all. I know I probably shouldn't be bitching about this, but I'm like, 20% off of something that, now, if you've been to JOANNE's, you know it's kind of pricey, right? Unless you got coupons or some other stuff going on. It's pricey. That's probably one of the reasons why they went downhill. Let's just be honest, right? They have great stuff. I love JOANNE's. I was just like, I'm devastated, right? But 20% off for most of the stuff in the store is not really a clearance. There are a few things that were like 40%. I don't think there were really anything that I bought. Most of the things that like pertain to me were like 20%, 25%. I still got the stuff. I was just like, you know, I was looking at the florals, and like, you know, Michael's has florals, but they're, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a different type of florals than what JOANNE's has. Does that make sense? Like, if you're looking to make like bouquets and big beautiful things for like a very nice event, you go to Michael's. You know, like JOANNE's has good stuff, right? But the quality for the flowers at Michael's is different, if that makes sense. So I usually go to JOANNE's to get like floral stuff, like to decorate certain things in my home. Okay. So usually when I buy these things, it's like, you know, in 10-year increments, because like as things break down, because they've been in boxes with other decor and stuff, things fall off, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll like cut stuff and kind of retrofit it to like, you know, make a different type of decor. I use the shit up, okay? So I was like, all right, so I need to update my florals, right? So I'm looking at the stuff, and it's all like 10%, 20%. And I'm like, okay. And in the back of my head, I'm going, well, I can always come back and get more. No, you can't. They're not going to be here. I had to keep telling myself that. So I was like, oh, I can just come back. No, you can't come back. There's no coming back. And I was like, ah! Yeah. I did get more stuff, but I just wanted to share my tale of woe in the floral department. So, what did I get that was knitting related? Well, sort of knitting related. I got fabric scissors. The little snippy, those are so cute. Because, like, you know, my scissors that I use are still good, but, like, you know, can you really go wrong with a good pair of fabric scissors? No. So I got that. Not knitting related. I like to make truffles during Christmas time, so I was like, okay, well, this will work. So instead of like just rolling them out and then putting sprinkles and stuff on it, I can just shape them. So I like that idea. I've actually never done that before, which is weird because, you know, I used to be a cake decorator and worked with pastry and did all that stuff, and it never crossed my mind to get one of these. I don't know. So I got that. And then in the whole damn store, zippers were the only thing that were not on sale. What? That makes no sense. And why did I get a zipper? I don't know. I felt like I needed to get a zipper. So I got a 24-inch zipper. My thought process was, okay, I practice steeking, right? And one day I will make a garment that's steeked. So I figure, okay, well, if I do that, I'll probably want to make it into a jacket, right? So I'm going to put all that work into it, make the stitches nice and tight and this, that, and the other, and use, like, you know, the rustic wools and all that stuff. I'm going to probably want to make it into a jacket. So I was like, all right. So I got a zipper. It may actually be too long, now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, it was the only thing that wasn't on sale. I was like, what? What? It doesn't, whatever. And then I got charms, because if you order from me, if you get like, if you're a repeat customer or you get like 2 or more skeins of yarn, I usually throw in like a bunch of stitch markers. Not like I don't have any here. Not those little light bulb ones or anything. I throw those in like almost every order. I'm talking about like nice stitch markers. So I got some holiday ones, and I just throw them in for free. So it's kind of like at my leisure. And I got some butterfly ones. And I actually need to make stitch markers because I'm running low. So I got that. And then I did get some yarn. I was specifically looking for wool based. So all they really had was some Crochet, and they only had like 3 or 4 different colorways left in the JOANNE that I went to. So after my mishap with the freaking multicolor things where like the dye lots were the same, but the dye lots were not the same. Like they're the same on the label, but they're not the same matching up. What I did was, okay, yeah, I got 2 of the same, and I already know without having it, everything on the label is the same. I'm not even going to take the chance that these are going to knit up as the same dye lot because I've already been burned twice. But what I did decide to do was get 4 skeins of this color, which is plum, so that I can do toes and cuffs with this color, right? That way it don't matter. I got enough for the sock, I got enough for the toes and the cuff, and it'll be in the same dye lot, right? So I did that. And this multicolor, by the way, is Celestial Colors. And then I don't know how these stripes are going to knit up, if they're going to be the same or not. But what I did with that was I also tried to match it up with this, which I think it's a good enough match. So like these would be the toes and cuffs for this. So, and all of this is really just for shop socks, like because I'm in the process of selling socks on my Etsy shop. So if this does not work out, these stripes, then it'll be for me. And It'll be a slightly bigger foot, which I don't like because I'm doing 64 stitches for the size that I'm working on right now, and like I won't like that, so hopefully it'll work out so I don't have to worry about that. But that's what I got. That's my JOANNE's haul. Whew. It's a sad day in America. There's a lot of sad days in America, but it's a sad day for artists in America. Yeah. So, anyway, what do we have left? We have Michael's and that other place that shall not be named. That's it. Yeah. And then online. And I don't know what small businesses are doing stuff like that. If you actually, if you know small businesses that are doing any of that stuff, like, you know, arts and crafts, like that type of thing, drop links or names below. Let's help each other out. I don't know any of that stuff other than going to not a fair. Oh my God, what is the word? Yeah, craft fair or something like that. So, yeah, like I said, long day. I haven't even eaten yet. I had an orange. It's noon. I had tea and an orange, so maybe that's my problem. I don't know. I'm also a ditz, so who knows? So, life stuff. I've been gardening. I got my more spring stuff out. I might show some video later, but what I did was I planted some edamame or soybean. I did 2 rows of that. They're old seeds, so I don't know what's going to come up, but I succession plant anyway, so whatever doesn't come up, then like in a week from now, I'll just fill in the gaps. It's whatever. I'm going to be planting some pony beans in the next week or so. I've never had pony beans, but I have seeds for them, so I figured, my raised bed could use a little bit of nitrogen, so I'm like, yeah, let's just throw all the stuff in there. I planted Lincolnshire peas, something like that, sugar snap peas. Planted 6 red potatoes, radishes, chard, kale, cilantro. What else? Turnip. I know I'm missing one. Anyway, spinach. So, if I didn't say that. So yeah, got that going. So actually it's been cold and raining the last couple days, so I'm gonna go out there today because even though it's a little bit chilly out, it's nice out. So it's enough sun that if anything is gonna poke out, it's been enough days that I should be able to tell if anything took, and then where I would need to fill in the gaps and succession plant and all that stuff. So I'm doing that right now. I'm trying to keep it easy this year because usually I kept a couple of gardening videos up from 3 years ago on my channel. There's not a whole lot that I kept up, but there's a few. And I think that was the year that I planted pumpkins. That was wild. If you're going to plant pumpkins, make sure you got a whole lot of space because that plant just spreads. But I tend to go overboard. Because, like, we eat a lot of vegetables in this house. That's not the problem. The problem is that there's just so much of it. And I don't really have a whole lot of people to give it away to. Like, I've got my neighbor who, like, will take some stuff and sometimes we'll exchange things. Because, like, they go somewhere in Kentucky and buy, like, a bunch of fruits and vegetables, like, from, like, an Amish store or something. And then they're like, here you go. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. But that's about it. I don't really have anybody else to, like, give anything to. So, and I do put up a lot of stuff. I don't can because you don't want me canning. I've tried. I may try again in the future. This would be a good time to practice that because, I mean, the state of grocery shopping in this country right now, I don't trust myself, and I don't really have the patience right now to deal with it. So, but I do what I can to shelf stabilize what I can. So, I always save seed. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it easy this year because usually I just go crazy. So like and I've also noticed that like it's just so hot now in the summers as opposed to like when I started gardening like 16, 17 years ago that I'm actually actively skipping putting any summer stuff out in the middle of summer because it's warm here until the end of November and I can get tomatoes and squash and all that stuff and pretty good productivity until the beginning of November. I've done it, and I have less pests, and I have less problems, and less watering and everything. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just skip May, June, and July, right? We can start some of the seeds indoors in like the beginning of July, put them out in August, right? Start hardening in August and all that stuff, and get them out there. And then by that point, like the height of like all that summer mess is gone, right? So yeah, you're still gonna have like the squash beetles and whatever. With the heirloom tomatoes, you're probably gonna get a hornworm. But the intensity of it is far less doing it later in the summer. So I'm keeping that in mind, and I'm like, okay, let me plan out what I want to do, you know, and then just take a few months off and then get back into it. So that's what I'm doing. Fall's a good time to do a lot of your spring stuff too. So like if you like to do like bok choy, cabbages and stuff like that. For me, I am not an expert gardener, so don't come to me for like, you know, some serious advice. Go watch a gardening channel. But like what I like to do, I find that I have better productivity with bok choy and cabbage and stuff like that if I start those in the fall, like late fall, like end of September, beginning of October. I guess that's not really late fall, is it? On the calendar, it's not late fall. But we're going into cooler months, so the aphid problem is not really there as much either. Whereas if I do it in the spring, I've just got nothing but aphids all over the place. It's anyway. And my orchid still hasn't bloomed yet. I fertilized it yesterday. I was like, I wonder if I should fertilize this thing. I don't want it to dry up and just fall off and never bloom. I don't know. I've never had an orchid before. This is like the first time I'm dealing with blooms and stuff. So I hope she blooms. That'll be nice. And I have a gluten-free sourdough. Maybe I'll put a picture up of that too. I named her Agnes. And she was born on February 7th. And I waited until she matured enough for me to put her in a fridge so I wouldn't have to feed her every single day, because gluten-free flour is not cheap at all. So I had to deal with the discarding, and I had to deal with like making stuff. Like I don't eat that much bread, so I was like, I just need to get it to the point where I'm getting nice hefty bubbles every single day for like a while, right? So it took me, when did I put her in the fridge? The 25th. So it took me 18 days to get a mature enough sourdough to put in the fridge. Sourdough starter to get in the fridge. And she's doing great. She's been in the fridge for a week, a little over a week. I'm actually making focaccia today with it. And yeah. So I'm very proud of my baby. Proud of my little gluten-free sourdough baby. So yeah, I think that's all I have to talk about. So, yeah, so I'll see you in 2 weeks with my 2025 list. And maybe I'll have a new cast on for that too, because I'm kind of, it seems like the 2025 list is definitely smaller than the whip that I do in the beginning of the month, like all the stuff that are just whips and not on the 2025 list. So I'm trying to not really speed that up, but try to get more than like 2 projects going every time, you know. So I did actually get needles in. I bought some 7s because I'm going to do something on there. I think I'm going to do a hat. So, but we'll see. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Go make something.